From north to south, east to west, the world is a vast and exciting place, and Stardew Valley is no exception. It's packed with diverse and fascinating locations to explore, each offering something unique, whether it's resources, scenic views, or valuable opportunities. If you learned something new in this video, remember to comment Krobus for a heart, and as always, like and subscribe for more Ezlilyy. Okay, so the big question is, which of these locations are truly worth your time? What do they offer, and how do they stack up? In today's video, we'll be ranking these locations based on their value, going in alphabetical order. The 4 criteria we'll be judging them on are visual elements, how pretty or unique the area looks, difficulty to access, how hard it is to find, and how exclusive it is, money-making potential, can we get rich from it, what resources can we gather, distance, how close it is to the farm, or if there are places to sleep over to make up for the distance. Each location will then receive an overall score out of 10. So grab your explorer cap and hiking boots. It's time to set off on an adventure. The first location we're going to explore is the backwoods. This is the exterior region in the northwest part of Stardew Valley. What makes it interesting is that it's actually split into 2 separate areas that you can't access directly from one another. One part is the highway running underneath a road, while the other is a dirt path above it. This unique layout gives the backwood a distinct feel compared to the other locations in the game. When we look at the visuals of the backwoods, we see a landscape filled with trees and bushes, creating a natural and quiet atmosphere. One standout feature is the abundance of salmonberry and blackberry bushes, making this a great spot for foraging. The area is split up in 2 distinct paths, a dirt road above and a highway below, giving it a layered feel. There's even a 3rd higher level that we can see but can't access, adding some depth to the environment. While the backwoods doesn't have anything drastically different from the other forested areas, the ability to see and interact with both paths adds a unique touch. Overall, for visuals, we're giving the backwoods a 6 out of 10. The backwoods is one of the easiest locations to find, as part of it directly connects to your farm. This is the dirt road where most of the foraging happens. The highway section below can only be accessed by heading west from the bus stop. With 2 different access points and its proximity to the farm, the backwoods is incredibly convenient to reach. Because of this, we're giving it a 10 out of 10 for accessibility. It's important to note that the bottom highway area doesn't offer much for foraging, so we'll need to stick to the middle dirt road for resources. Here, depending on the season, you can forage items like leeks, wild horseradish, grapes, spiceberry, hazelnut, common mushrooms, wild plums, holly, cactus fruit, and crystal fruit. There's also a chance to find artifacts such as clay, winter roots, stone rice shoots, and even secret notes. But don't forget to keep your magnifying glass with you if you want to uncover it. While the backwoods isn't overflowing with high-value resources, it still offers some useful seasonal items. You can't get rich here, but it's worth checking out, earning it a 6 out of 10 for its resources. As we mentioned before, the backwoods is very close to your farm, making it an extremely easy location to access. Since there's no real need for a place to sleep over, distance isn't a major issue here. With its convenience and proximity, we're giving it a solid 8 out of 10 for distance. Taking everything into account, the backwoods scores a 7.5 out of 10 overall. It's easy to access, visually pleasant, and offers some handy foraging opportunities, but it won't make you rich or blow away with unique features. You could just fill it up with crystallariums or furnaces. Think of it as a reliable sidekick of Stardew Valley's locations. Not the star of the show, but always there when you need it. Next up, we're heading to the south where the ocean meets the valley. The beach is popular with fishermen and is the home to the valley's resident author, the dreamy Elliot. It's a popular festival location as well. And I mean, who wouldn't want to stretch out with their toes in the sand after a long season's work? Visually, the beach is pretty much just a bunch of sand. It's coarse, rough, and it gets everywhere. You can unlock even more sand to the right once you repair the bridge, and going down you'll find Willie's cabin. The beach would get a low score here if it weren't for the magical dance of the moonlight jellies and the cute shops of the night market. This alone would land the beach a 10 out of 10 for visuals. But since this only happens once a year, I'll settle for a 7 out of 10. Most of the beach is immediately accessible, and you can already start fishing on day 2, but it scores a 8 out of 10 for additional area that you unlock. The beach is kind to the pockets of fishers and foragers alike. Be sure to swing by once a week to grab all sorts of valuable items that washed up the night before. And of course, fishing is a good earner as well. The beach is one of the best fishing locations since you can easily sell your fish to free up space and stock up on a good buff. There are also unique fish to be caught at the night market and newly added Squid Fest. The beach can be quite lucrative if the time is right and know when to catch the most valuable fish. 9 out of 10. The beach is very easy to find, being just below the town. If you're a night fisher though, you'll have to keep an eye on the clock as well as your stamina, since the beach is just far enough for you to pass out right on the steps of your farmhouse. 7 out of 10. The beach scores a total of 7.5 out of 10 and remains one of my favorite locations simply for the beauty of the moonlight jellies. Let's move on. Since we started our journey at the bus stop, let's go on a journey and see what we can find at the bus stop. The visuals at the bus stop are pretty basic, featuring just normal trees, a road, and an area surrounded by a wooden fence. Nothing really stands out, since there's not much going on at the bus stop besides the bus or a few bushes or trees. Let's give it 5 out of 10 for the visual aspect. When you're wondering how exclusive the area is, it has its pros and cons. On the one hand, the area is immediately accessible when you start the game, as it is where the starting point is. But unfortunately, the bus breaks down, so you'll need to spend some gold coins to get it back up and running. Given that it's easy to find but not really optimized from the start, it lands in the middle with a 5 out of 10. The only person who's probably going to get rich from the bus stop is the bus driver, and that's even pushing it. But you can collect some dandelions, leeks, sweet peas, spicy berries, grapes, wild plums, hazelnuts, crocus, holly, and crystal fruit. Some cool artifacts might also pop up, like an ancient doll, ancient drum, arrowhead, stone, or copper, putting it at 5 out of 10. And finally, the biggest positive of the whole bus stop is it's located in the center of the village. It's very easy to find and probably the closest location we'll look at today. If the last one is a 10 out of 10, averaging everything else would give the bus stop a solid 5 out of 10. So in conclusion, the bus stop is conveniently located but lacks much flair. Kind of like the friend who shows up at the party on time but doesn't bring anything to the table. Cindersap Forest is the first large location we'll be looking at, offering plenty of areas to explore, fishing opportunities, and a few interesting places to visit, like Marnie's Ranch, Leah's Cottage, the Mouse Abandoned House, the Wizard's Tower, the Big Tree, the Secret Forest, Traveling Cart, and the Mossy Cave. These are all spots you'll definitely want to check out with unique characters you'd want to interact with. With the addition of these extra areas to explore, it definitely adds something to the visual element. But it's nothing we haven't seen in other Stardew locations. It's the venue for the yearly flower dance, which has some cute decorations. But even so, we'll give it a 6 out of 10. The Cindersap Forest is located in the southwest part of Stardew Valley. It stretches north into the farm and east into Pelican Town, so it's not all that difficult to find. It's a large area to explore, earning it a solid 8 out of 10 for accessibility. However, entering places like the Mossy Cave might be a bit more difficult, but that doesn't affect the location itself. If you're looking to make your fortune, it will depend on your buying and selling abilities. There's plenty of forage and fish in the area, so you can collect a lot of things. But nothing here really stands out. On the bright side, if you visit on spring 17th, you'll find a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow near the waterfall of the abandoned house. However, don't get too excited. It only gives you 200 gold the first year and 25 every other year until you're here 93, when it caps out at 2,500 gold. This is also the only location where you can find spring onions, adding a nice little twist. It's not going to make you millions, but with a bit of grinding, it's definitely worth your time. And who could forget about the all-new Trout Derby? Some farmers tend to skip this one, but it's quite underrated if you consider its earning potential. 7 out of 10 for the "is it going to make you a millionaire" category. The forest is nearby and easy to access. Though it's large with lots to explore, it's close to everything but lacks a bed or sleeping area, so it gets a 7 out of 10. Cindersap Forest lands at about 7.5 out of 10. It's a great spot, but don't expect to get rich, just enjoy the grind. Ginger Island is a tropical paradise brimming with adventure and secrets. From its sun-kissed beaches to thick jungles, it's packed with new crops, creatures, and characters to discover. Whether you're after relaxation or thrill, this island offers the perfect escape with a dash of mystery. Ginger Island is a visual feast, packed with everything you'd expect from an island vibe. Pirate coves, mermaids, dark forests, relaxing beaches, and intriguing buildings, all to add to the charm. Don't forget the caves and the lava. Yep, this island has a little bit of everything, blending the familiar with exciting new twists. It's a fresh take, earning a solid 9 out of 10. Just like real life, you can't go on vacation without a bit of work first. To reach Ginger Island, you'll need to fix a broken boat and then purchase a ticket for the trip. The ticket costs 1,000 gold and can be bought at Willie's fish shop. To repair the boat, you'll need 200 hardwood, iridium bars, and batteries. Once you have those, head to Willie's and the boat will be ready to take you to the island. But even before this, you'll need to complete the community center or Georgia route first. The location itself is massive, offering plenty to explore, making the journey well worth it. With the need to repair the boat, the ticket price, and finishing the community center or Georgia route, Ginger Island is definitely a lot more exclusive. That places it at a 2 out of 10 for accessibility. The world is your oyster, and that oyster is Ginger Island. There's so much to do, see, and collect. From traders and digging sites to dungeons, ponds, and forests, there's plenty to explore. Plus, Ginger Island functions like a greenhouse, as it's the only place where the season doesn't affect which crops can grow or which fish you can catch. So if you're looking to keep busy year-round, this is definitely the place to be. While Ginger Island doesn't offer instant riches, you can still make good money by catching valuable fish, selling crops, completing island quests, and trading resources. It's a valuable spot for steady earnings. For wealth potential, I'd rate it a 8 out of 10. At first, thinking to travel to a different island will be a far long journey and voyage to go on. But actually, you just have to go to Willie's fishing shop to purchase a ticket and a boat will take you, making the distance very convenient. And of course, there are places where you can sleep over, you can just set up a tent or use a bed in the farmhouse on the island once you've unlocked it. It is easy to stay there and easy to get to, making it a firm 10 out of 10. Whether you're diving into dungeons, fishing, or just soaking in the island vibes, Ginger Island's got you covered. It's not just a getaway, it's a full-blown adventure. Pack your bags and don't forget the sunscreen. This island's waiting. With that, Ginger Island scores an overall 7 out of 10. Deep underground, mutant bugs, monsters, and something smelly? Yep, you guessed it, the next location we're looking at is the mutant bug lair. The mutant bug lair stands out with its unique visual design. Vibrant purple floors, sewers all around, and murky green waters create a truly one-of-a-kind atmosphere in Stardew Valley, earning it a perfect 10 out of 10 for visuals. Gaining access to the mutant bug lair isn't the simplest task. You'll need to complete a Dark Talisman quest, which involves retrieving the wizard's magic ink from his ex-wife's house. After that, you'll go to Krobus, our favorite little guy, to gain entrance to the lair. It's not the hardest challenge, but it's not exactly a walk in the park either. Talking to Krobus is always a win, but because you need to finish the community center or Jojo route to unlock the Dark Talisman quest, we'll give it a 4 out of 10 for accessibility. As for making money, the mutant bug lair isn't the most lucrative spot. You can fish for mutant carp, which sells for 100 gold each, but that's about it. While it's decent for fishing, if you're after big profits, this isn't exactly the place to grind for wealth. It's more about the unique experience, fiber, and the items you collect while exploring. For making money in the mutant bug lair, I'd give it a 4 out of 10. It's more about the experience and unique items you can gather rather than making a fortune. There are no beds in the mutant bug lair, so you'll have to plan ahead if you're venturing there. Since access is a bit tricky and there's no place to rest, I'd give it a 3 out of 10 for distance. It's not the easiest location to reach, and lacking a place to sleep adds to the inconvenience. The mutant bug lair underground thrills with a bit more grime than glory. The average score comes to a 5.2 out of 10. The next town we're going to be looking at needs no introduction. It's Pelican Town. It's the town, the main town, you know, the town. Pelican Town has a lot of different buildings and locations to look at. Although it might be a bit plain in that aspect, as it doesn't do anything really to stand out. It is the benchmark which everything else is measured against. So we can't push it for that. In that regard, we give it a solid 6 out of 10. When we look at how difficult it is to get there, there is no competition. It's one of the first locations we see, and it's always right next to our farm, where we sleep and connects most of the different regions we want to visit. So nothing less than a perfect 10 out of 10 would suffice. When it comes to making money, Pelican Town is a bit of a double-edged sword. On one hand, it's not where you get rich from grinding other than maybe fishing, but it's also the main hub where you'll be selling your goods and interacting with others. There's a fair amount of gold that can be earned from the various festivals held in town throughout the year. There's the Egg Festival, the Fair, the Spirit's Eve, and the Feast of Winter Star. So while there might not be much money laying around in town, these festivals could be very good for your wallet if you approach them right. For money, Pelican Town gets a 8 out of 10. Distance-wise, it couldn't be more convenient. Pelican Town is the central hub, serving as the starting point for most of your adventures to other locations. It scores a solid 10 out of 10 for accessibility. Pelican Town, it's not flashy, but it's always there when you need it. Sort of like a very reliable pair of purple shorts. Solid, dependable, and an average score of 8 out of 10. Sand, it's everywhere, get used to it, as said by the great genie from Aladdin. Let's have a look at the Calico Desert. The desert definitely has its own unique aesthetic, with sand and palm trees everywhere, along with rare sculptures like sand dragons, warped statues, desert traders, oases, and the Skull Cavern. It always keeps things interesting. While it lacks the greenery you'd find elsewhere, it's definitely a feast for the eyes. The desert has a unique, almost mystical vibe, which really sets it apart from the rest of the game. I'd give it an 8 out of 10 for visuals. The desert is a bit tricky to access, as the only way to get there is through the bus stop and buying a ticket. The bus repair is costly, which delays your entry. The desert also has an annual festival from the 15th to 17th of spring, adding a sense of urgency to visit. It's a 5 out of 10 for difficulty. The desert offers a few interesting ways to make money, whether you're looking for quick coins or grinding for them. You can forage for coconuts, cactus fruits, and rare artifacts, or try your luck fishing with new catches. There's also a unique oasis shop where you can buy rare seeds and the most profitable crop, star fruit seeds. And for those feeling adventurous, the casino offers a chance to gamble, though it's not the best get-rich-quick strategy. And who can forget about the all-new Desert Festival? With a wide variety of options, it deserves a solid rating for making money. With all this variety, the desert earns a 9 out of 10 for money. When considering the distance to the desert, it's just a hop, skip, and one bus ride away. It's a vast area with plenty to explore, and once the grind of repairing the bus is done, access is easy. So it gets an 8 out of 10. As my mom used to say, always remember to leave some room for dessert. The overall score is 7.5 out of 10. Welcome to the heart of it all, the farm, where the soil is rich, the crops grow tall, and the hard work never stops. It's where our journey begins and continues to thrive, one seed at a time. The visuals of the farm can be absolutely fantastic. You have the farmhouse surrounded by your crops and the peaceful scenery that changes with the seasons. While the variety of buildings isn't extensive, you can add your own touch with options from the carpentry shop. Farm buildings like animal houses and other structures to make the farm feel more like your own. The beauty of it all lies in the freedom to design and create it in your own unique way, whether it's arranging your crops, placing your animals, or customizing your buildings. The farm feels like a canvas that's limited only by your imagination. And with that level of personalization, the visuals earn a perfect 10 out of 10. It's your farm, your flavor, and it always shines through. When we talk about the difficulty of getting the farm, it's by far the easiest. It's literally handed to you. All you have to do is show up, live your life, and thank your grandfather for passing it down to you. The hardest part comes after you've settled in, when you start building on your farm and making it thrive. But the initial getting there, it's a walk in the park or a walk in the fields more likely. 10 out of 10. When we look at the money-making potential of this location, it's near limitless. This is where you grow your crops, raise your animals, chop down trees, and even do some fishing, depending on the farm. The farm is literally the money-making hotspot. Giving it anything less than another 10 would be a disservice to all of your hard work. The farm's location couldn't be more ideal, sitting right next to Pelican Town. It's always within reach, making it effortless to get to. Definitely deserves a perfect 10 out of 10 for convenience. From its endless potential to its welcoming ease, the farm truly is the heart of your journey. It's your canvas to shape, your world to build. Perfect score all around, because let's face it, you got everything you need right here in your hands. The mountains in Stardew Valley, where the air is a little fresher, the peaks are a little higher, and the adventures are always just around the corner. Let's see what's up there. Visually, the mountains are a stunning location, offering a feast for the eyes. With rocky landscape, serene rivers and dams, and the rugged mountainsides that beckon to be explored, it truly captures the natural beauty of Stardew Valley. There are various houses like the carpentry shop, tree houses, Linus's tent, mines, and the Adventurers Guild building, as well as the quarry. While these structures are nice, they feel a bit plain and general for the area. Still, the location charm lies in the overall beauty, so it comfortably sits at a 7 out of 10. To reach the mountains, you'll either need to go through the backwood or take the southern exit from Pelican Town. However, as you progress through the game, new routes will open up. On Spring Day 5, the debris blocking the bridge to the mines is cleared, while on Summer 3, an earthquake opens a path to the railroad. The bridge leading to the quarry in the east can be repaired by doing a community center bundle, and the glittering boulder blocking the water east can be removed when finishing another community center bundles. While there might be a bit more distance and not all paths are immediately open, the various options make it a decent choice, placing it a 6 out of 10. Fish, 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 forage, 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 mine, 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 fight, fight, fight. This is what the mountains are all about. You have a wide array of ways to increase your income, whether it's foraging for berries, digging up artifacts, fishing for rare catches, or diving into the mines for loot and adventure. Not to mention the quests from the Adventurers Guild. It's a diverse and active location, perfect for anyone looking for a bit of a grind with a lot of rewards. Definitely deserving a high rating, but not quite a perfect 10, so let's call it an 8. Though the mountains are relatively close, getting there requires navigating through multiple areas, like the backwoods or southern exit of Pelican Town. It's quite a bit of a journey, so we can't give it too high of a rating. Given the effort required, it's a 7 out of 10. Feels fair for the distance. Whether you're scaling peaks or fishing for treasure, the mountains in Stardew Valley will have you hustling for that gold while taking in the view. Just don't expect it to be a quick trip. The overall average would be 7. Welcome to the Witch's Swamp, dark, eerie, and packed with secrets. Dare to step in. The Witch's Swamp is dark and gloomy, hidden underground, with its blue waters and a sludge-like green path leading to a strange, mysterious cottage. It's a place full of eerie charm. Given the minimalism, but also the eerie charm it exudes, it's an interesting mix. While it doesn't offer a lot visually, what's there is memorable. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. Accessing the Witch's Swamp is no walk in the park. First, you must complete the Dark Talisman quest, which is a journey in itself, taking you to a handful of different locations. And even in order to unlock the Dark Talisman quest, you gotta either finish the community center or JoJo route. The cave that leads to the swamp is tucked away in the northern part of the railroad area. The journey to the Witch's Swamp is quite the adventure with multiple steps and quests involved, making it feel exclusive. Given its complexity, it earns a solid 3 out of 10 for accessibility. While fishing is possible in the Witch's Swamp, the fish you catch don't exactly rake in big bucks. Without foraging or artifact hunting to bolster your earnings, this area doesn't offer much for generating income. It's more about the adventure and the secrets lurking within, which leaves us with a low 2 out of 10 for money-making potential. The Witch's Swamp is a bit of a journey to access. After completing the Dark Talisman quest, you'll need to head to the Northern Railroad area where the cave entrance is. From there, you'll navigate the eerie swamp path to reach the heart of it. Considering the steps involved and the effort it takes to get there, it's definitely not a quick trip. It's a destination that's meant to be earned. We'll give it a 5 out of 10 for distance. Overall, the Witch's Swamp is a bit of a hidden gem. Dark, mysterious, and not much for your wallet. But hey, sometimes it's an adventure that counts. We're calling it a 4.2 out of 10. Half magic, half mud. And there you have it, folks, the rundown of all the locations in Stardew Valley. From the farm to the Witch's Swamp, some are a relaxing stroll, others are a bit more of an adventure, just like life itself. Don't forget to like and subscribe and ring that bell so you don't miss more of our deep dives into the valley's quirks and treasures. And hey, next time you're in the mountains, just remember, even if it's a hike to get there, it's always worth the view. And I'll see you in the next video.